For this video, we will cover information on microscopy and metric units. When we visualize samples under a microscope, one of the common questions is how big a sample is. And to answer this, we generally refer to their size in either micrometers or nanometers. As such, you need to be able to calculate between meters, centimeters, millimeters, micrometers, and nanometers. Alright, let's start out with the basics. All of the measurements are in reference to meters. So, 1 meter is equal to 1 meter, or 10 to the 0th power. Now, centi means 100, so 1 centimeter is equal to 1/100th of a meter. Notice the 2 zeros in our 100 here. It will be important as we start adding exponents. So, since centi is 100, there is 2 zeros, and we will write that as 10 to the power of -2 meters. Now, milli means 1,000, so here 1 millimeter is 1/1000th of a meter, and with 3 zeros, we would write it as 10 to the power of -3 meters. Micro means a million, so 1/1,000,000th of a meter, 6 zeros, and we write it as 10 to the power of -6 meters. And lastly, nano means a billion, so 1/1,000,000th of a meter, 9 zeros, and written as 10 to the -9th power meters. With this in mind, we can start asking simple questions. For example, how many micrometers are in 1 meter? Well, we know that micro is 10 to the -6, so that would mean we would need 6 zeros or 1 million micrometers in 1 meter. Or if we ask for millimeters as an example, we would simply say it's 10 to the power of -3. So it would mean we would have 3 zeros or 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. Now we can also go the other way. So if I have 1,000 millimeters, how many meters do I have? Well, we know there are 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter, so it would have to be 1 meter. Of course, those questions are directly related to 1 meter, and therefore the math can be calculated very easily. Now let's try some questions that are a little bit more tricky. If I have 500 centimeters, how many meters do I have? Well, we can set up an equation to calculate that. Here we would have x equals 500 centimeters multiplied by 1 meter over 100 centimeters, since we know there is 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So the centimeters cancel out. 500 multiplied by 1 is still 500, and 500 divided by 100 is 5. So the answer is 5 meters. Again, we stuck with the meters, but what if we go between other units? So if I have 5 centimeters, how many micrometers do I have? Well, we can set this up in 2 ways. The first is a bit of a cheat since the metric system is set up as a factor of tens, and we can use that to our advantage a bit. First, since it is the 5, we can put down a 5 to start with our answer. Then we can simply count the differences in the exponent. So 10 to the -2 and 10 to the -6 has a difference of 4 if you take 6 minus 2. Note we disregard the negatives in front of the exponents at this point. What this means is that we just add 4 as zeros behind our 5 and we get 50,000. This can also be set up as an equation. 5 centimeters multiplied by 1 meter over 100 centimeters multiplied by 1 million micrometers over 1 meter. Now the meters and centimeters cancel out. That gives us 5 times 1 million micrometers over 100. We then remove the 2 zeros. So now we have 5 times 10,000 micrometers, which gives us 50,000 micrometers. Let's do one last practice question. You have 200 micrometers. How many nanometers do you have, and how many meters do you have? Let's start out with the nanometers. We start with the 200, then 10 to the power of -6 and 10 to the power of -9 is a difference of 3, so we add 3 zeros. So 200,000 is the answer. Let's check it real quick with our equation. So 200 micrometers multiplied by 1 meter over 1 million micrometers multiplied by 1 billion nanometers over 1 meter. Cancel the micrometer and meter, remove the 6 zeros, and we now get 200 times 1,000 nanometers, resulting in 200,000 nanometers. Alright, let's do the meters. So again, we start with 200, 10 to the -6, and 10 to the 0, which is a difference of 6. Now since we're going from a small number to a big number, we won't add the zeros to the end, but we move the decimal the other direction. So you could write out 0.0000000 200 as an example. We then start at the end of the 200 and move the decimal 6 places to the left, and we would get 0.0002. Let's check it. 200 micrometers multiplied by 1 meter over 1 million micrometers. Cancel the micrometers, and we now get 200 times 1 meter over 1 million. So 200 meters over 1 million gives us 0.0002 meters. This concludes our video covering information on microscopy and metric units.